Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who is currently just loaded up on LDS. It's Niall Moore.
The hell I am.
Hey, watch out, dumbass.
Hey, double dumbass on you.
So, okay, we're going through this franchise, and I've seen this movie before, but it had to have been the early 90s because I remembered Spock on the whale. I remembered when they're in the water at the end cheering. I remember the guy on the bus. But going back through this again, this movie rocks. Like,
Oh yeah.
I, it's hilarious, and it's not like, you know how bad this could have been. Like, oh, we're gonna go to the future and we are going, or the past, and fish out of water. But this movie's like truly funny. Like, hey, you dipshits aren't planning on this. No dipshit. Like, it's a funny movie. I love it. This movie's great. Niall,
Yeah,
it's my favorite.
it's definitely the most mainstream. It's
Yeah,
definitely the one. I think it had the highest box office until the Abrams ones, at least domestically.
yeah,
I
it
think
did.
Worldwide First Contact pipped it, but it's just so easy to watch. Even my wife, who hates science fiction, hates Star Trek, she has sat and watched this movie and enjoyed it
Yeah, because it's good.
because it is legit funny and good.
Yeah. So I was looking at the box office. It was the first one to crack 100 million up until, yeah, like you said, Star Trek 2009. And when you look at the inflated box office, it's ranked number 3 currently, with like, for adjusted for inflation. So it's Star Trek at 366 2009, the motion pictures 346, and the Voyage Homes at 304. So if this was released nowadays in the United States and Canada, it would have made $300 million just domestic. That's big.
Which is pretty huge.
Yeah. And you're watching this movie, and the thing I just there's they Nimoy didn't want a villain. So there's really no villain. Like, there's some whale hunters, there's like there's Bob, but I mean there's no, there's the
There's
Klingon in the
the US
beginning.
military
Yeah. What?
who chase Chekhov in a very Blues Brothers-esque chase around an aircraft carrier.
Hey, what's that over there? And he just takes off running. But it's so funny. Like, and I love the pairings in this film. I love everyone. We've been 4 movies in, and I love what each character has something to do here. Like, Uhura doesn't have too much. She has something to do.
Yeah, I still think her and Sulu are the ones who they still haven't figured out quite what to do with them.
Yeah. He gets the helicopter bit
Chekhov,
though.
Chekhov, he has the helicopter bit, but that's basically it, and he gets to tell you what speed they're going.
9.1, 9.2, 9.3.
And Uhura gets to listen to some whale song and listen to some things. It's not exactly much work for her to do. I
No.
think she had more to do in Search for Spock, where she had to hide in the cupboard and do all of tell this guy he's to get in the cupboard and they're hijacking the Enterprise and whatever.
Yeah, she had a great
Um,
moment, and she had a memorable moment in 3. 4, she does not.
no, she's there, she's along for the ride, but there's nothing really that she needs to do. Whereas if you look at Scotty, the bit with the computer is hilarious still.
Okay,
McCoy,
hello, computer.
McCoy with the where he gets to accuse the guy of being a medievalist because he wants to drilling holes in a man's head is not going to save him.
He heals kidneys.
Yeah, he carries around kidney healing pills just in case.
What is this, the Spanish Inquisition? Like, he's hilarious in this movie.
Um,
Spock is
and
hilarious when he rips off his robe and puts it over his ears. Like, that's like that's a very funny moment.
it is, and then Chekhov,
Oh yeah.
you get to play into the whole Cold War thing. He's a rescue. It's like, yeah, I know that.
And you're through. Are we done? Like,
That whole sequence, the interview thing is the comic timing in it is excellent.
oh,
Every single thing where the guy just says something, because we've seen these scenes 100 times in movies of the era. It's like, you're a spy. Who are you? Who are you working for? If you don't tell us, we're through. But just having the quick-witted response, like, oh, can I go now? Is just it's one of those things where even though I've seen the movie multiple times. I don't know how many times I've watched this one. I still find it funny, even on rewatches, regardless of how recently it's been since I've watched it, or even if when I know the gags are coming, they're still funny.
Like funny is funny. I know that's not anything eloquent for me, but the writing in this movie is like, the way they fought for this film and the way they wrote it. And I mean, just bringing back Nicholas Meyer, Harv Bennett, like the way that Leonard Nimoy worked on it. Like just it's a good idea. And I think you're right. Remember the first one, V'ger's gonna like I know the probe is causing a problem, but it's just a big cylinder. Like it's really not a problem. It's not even a villain. It's just a probe that's like, hey, whales, where you at? It's just turning Earth into like a giant storm. But V'ger is blowing ships up, and then there's Wrath of Khan, which is so heavy. And then the third one is Sun Dies, and then this one, just he meets a cool lady. They hang out. They save some
And
whales.
he kidnaps her and takes her to the future.
Yeah, yeah. And then she
Um,
ditches him. She's like, "Yo, I got stuff to see. I'm out of here." Like she just leaves him behind. I love it.
um,
And
she
she's
went
like,
from
I don't.
being, I have to go because I'll be the only whale biologist to, hey, there are things other than whales. I'm going to go look at them instead.
And I mean, she can't go back to work because she slapped Bob so hard in the
Yeah,
face. Like she
she
jacked
did.
that guy. So like she's not going back. But okay, real quick question. I land, I go back into the past, and you work at a marine biology place. You take me out for pizza. What's your pizza order? And
Not
beer.
what she ordered.
Yeah. What's your beer
I'll
order?
tell you that much. I think for a pizza, I go for, well, it depends what kind of pizza place we're at. Are we at a New York style pizza place? Are we at an Italian pizza place?
That's interesting. So yeah, we're not in Napoli. It's like you're not like it's not thin crust. So it's the okay, and I'm so you're from
It
Ireland
would be
and
the
you currently live
American
in England.
Italian-ish.
Yeah, so like an
She did say
American,
let's go for Italian, so I'm guessing it's kind of an Italian-y pizza place.
like a swanky American Italian restaurant with a pizza oven that churns out relatively thin crust pizza. No Chicago deep
That
dish,
they had to
no
buy
Sabaro
for
pizza.
five
Yeah.
seconds on screen just to put in and gave to the restaurant afterwards just because they wanted to have pizza in the scene,
The biggest
which is
chunk of the
ridiculous
budget.
in itself.
Yeah. All the stuff they have to reuse, but then they have to buy a giant pizza oven. So what would you
For
order
one
at this
scene.
restaurant? No deep dish, like no squared pizza. Like we're talking just a pizza.
I I stick to the classics. I'm all about just a simple margarita. Or
Ooh.
maybe you can class it up with a little bit of buffalo. If we're going
In an American
purely
restaurant from the 80s?
purely Italian, it's hard to mess it up.
Interesting. That's
It's very, very simple. You could almost just go marinara and but they can probably do a little bit of mozzarella, so we'll let them do a margarita.
if I was in Italy, I'd get a margarita. If I'm in
Oh yeah.
America, I'm just gonna get a sausage pepperoni.
Yeah. I'm I think if I'm in New York, I'll get a pepperoni.
Yeah.
If I'm in San Francisco, I don't know.
Seafood.
Seafood would be an interesting one.
Pineapple.
It's an abomination, but it's an interesting one.
It's an so it's an Americanized, but I just love that scene too, where they just order food and then she has to pay for it. Hey, do you want to? I guess if you're listening to this, you know the movie, but Niall, do you want to explain the plot to the listeners?
Um, it's very, very simple. The crew of the Enterprise. Again, we're following on directly from Star Trek 3, which followed on directly from Star Trek 2. These movies are a trilogy that take place pretty much sequentially. And they're having to go back to face their crimes for stealing the Enterprise and then subsequently getting it blown up. And they're expecting to be court-martialed and go to jail or whatever when this probe turns up that is ionizing all the water. And they figure out that the only way to stop it is to travel back in time to kidnap a couple of humpback whales, which is exactly as silly as it sounds. But it works.
It's so easy. And speaking of whales again, I mean, what works about the second one, and we talked about this before, but what works about the second one is it could take place on boats. It could be master and commander, and it would work. This one, it's just so easy to explain to people. They got to go back in time to get some whales to appease a probe that's destroying Earth in the future. It's like, it's very high concept to explain, very simple. And I like that.
And for the plot to work, which is similar to what we said for Wrath of Khan as well, you don't need it to be Star Trek for the actual plot line to work. And you don't need those specific characters. It works as a concept or as a high concept sci-fi.
You know
And
what?
then you
Oh,
throw in these extra characters who are like, hey, that's Captain Kirk, so he's gonna act like this, Spock's gonna do like this. You get some added story beats from those characters, but you could throw in, say, the Battlestar Galactica crew, for example, like from the
yeah.
70s show, and
Doctor Who.
yeah, Doctor Who. It would be a great Doctor Who episode, to be honest. I could totally see that being a Doctor Who episode, him having to go and fetch a couple of whales because some probe is trying to talk to them.
It's brilliant. And you know what made me happy too is I think it's the best shot of all the Star Trek. So the first one's just a straight up
Well, it was nominated for
an
an
Academy
Oscar
Award.
for cinematography.
Yeah,
It
and
was nominated for 4 Oscars, which I think it was the most nominated of any of the Star Trek films in terms of the Academy.
I mean it deserves it. I mean the first one, right? It's a 2001 ripoff, essentially.
Yes.
It looks fine, but it's so rippy offy, which is a technical term, that I was never really too impressed with the camera work. The second and third one had $6 budgets, and so you just can't. Like they look fine, but they had to go back to basics to get the budget for this one. Two and three succeeded, and four, like two and three walked, so four could fly. I think they both were very good movies that made a lot of money, and so four comes out. You have a bigger budget, but that Donald Peterman, he would go on to shoot like Flashdance, Point Break, Splash. The guy just, I was watching this. I was like, I hope this got awarded for something. And that's when I found out it was nominated for best cinematography because it looks gorgeous. Like it's not a flat looking film. Like it's not a sometimes you watch some of these blockbuster sci-fi films and you never once think to yourself, "Oh wow, this cinematography is blowing my mind." But I was watching some of these scenes and like the way the Enterprise or the Klingon ship is or the wait, what the HMS Bounty is how it looks in the inside of the ship and the framing of the shots and just the way that they captured the whales. Like the miniatures are incredible, but it all looks so
Well, that's the
gorgeous.
thing with the whales. The whales were so good that they had animal rights activists
Yeah.
protesting the movie because they thought they'd used real whales and they were treating them inhumanely by being too close to them and stuff. That's how well that team did their work, having these whales look so realistic.
They're gorgeous. They really are.
Yeah, they're
Just
fantastic.
and just absolutely gorgeous looking special effects. And like the visual effects look great too. And I love that V'ger or not V'ger, the probe is so unimportant that they were like, just make a cylinder. Who cares? Like just zero thought, I think, was put into that probe because it's a
A
cylinder.
cylinder, okay, that's boring. Let's give it a ball.
Yeah. And then like it's not important. Like the cylinder's not even important. What's important is this. The money goes here. And I mean, shooting on location in San Francisco is not cheap. You have a lot of setups there, a lot of sets. It adds up the money. It's a lot more, the days are shorter. The like just there's so many more variables on location.
But it also gave them more scope to expand what the characters were doing because they didn't have to build sets for everywhere they needed to go. They could
Mm-hmm.
just use existing places. So they can be like, okay, we're going to go shoot in Alameda and do this Air Force or naval base stuff. We can go to Golden Gate Park and get some stock footage to show that they're in Golden Gate Park. We can walk around San Francisco and film in various bits. And it
Uh,
means that the story feels less self-contained because if we go back to Star Trek 2 again, they had to reuse the bridge sets and basically redress them to save money. There are very few sets that were used in that movie and very few locations.
mm-hmm.
Whereas this is a much more expansive movie with lots of different sets because they didn't actually have to build them. I think the one thing they did have to do was they had to excavate the old water tank on the Paramount lot, which had been used in the 50s for various movies for surfing scenes and in war movies for ship scenes. And Nimoy said they needed somewhere that they could shoot with a lot of water. And they found out that under the Paramount lot had been this 15-foot water tank. So they dug it up and used it.
Oh, that's amazing. that's why I love the ingenuity of this franchise as well. Like it's just, hey, there's a tank under the studios. Let's use it. Do we need to redress a couple sets? Fine. Like I love the kind of can-do attitude of it. And I do think it's interesting how they this time, as opposed to Nimoy not coming back, Shatner didn't want to come back. And then so they give
Yeah,
Shatner the movie. Like he gets to direct 5, but then he comes back. But then he loves it. Like it's these guys are so crazy. Like Nimoy didn't want to come back, but then he's like, "Wait, I really enjoyed working on Wrath of Khan." Then he's all in. Now he's directing. And then Shatner's like, "I don't want to come back." And he's like, "Wait, no, this is great." Like they all love this movie so much. But I guess also is like they acted in it, the TV show, like it was just kind of becoming them, I think. Like he did TJ Hooker, but I guess you only want to play in that sandbox for so long. But then there's like movies that kept them coming back because they were good. It's like 2, I think, revitalized everyone in the franchise. 4 revitalized everyone in the franchise. I love that about it. And just like the little touches though. Like so when they go into the antique place and they sell the glasses for $100, it's like, is that a lot?
yeah.
He's like, and then he looks at all of his guys and he gives them money and he goes, "Don't splurge." Like that's so like, and then also he's like, "Remember where we parked." Like that's the there's some really funny, and I just want to say it really truly does toe the line because we've watched movies that lean back into like nostalgia before or fish out of water, and it just doesn't work. It feels forced and inorganic. But I think it works because these actors played space travel so seriously for so many years that making a few jokes about, may I go now? Or hey, double dumbass. Like that was total, they could play that so straight because they've been playing Star Trek so straight for so long. Like they were pros by this point. And I think that's why they made it
Yeah,
work.
and it comes down to them really knowing their characters as well and being able to say, okay, Kirk would probably react like this, or Spock would probably say something like this, and the actors having faith that they'd be able to. Because I know there was a lot of improvisation in the film as well, and some of the more interesting bits came out with Nimoy and Shatner improvising because they know the characters so well and they were able to work off each other because they had worked together for so long. They knew the characters, they knew how each one of them would react if they started reacting in a certain way and were able to play off each other.
And you know what? I like how much Shatner. I know Shatner has no problem going big, but when Nimoy is on the whale and Shatner's reaction to it, he goes so big, and it made me so happy. Like it's obvious why this movie and Wrath of Khan were 2 of the most popular because the most accessible. But I guess what I like most about it is there's zero phoning it in on this one. Like no one phones
No,
anything in.
it's everything is everyone works. You can see that they enjoy the material and you can see that they're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
There don't seem to be any half-assed performances in there. Everyone is giving a good solid performance and enjoying the material as well.
And I think we got to give some props to Catherine Hicks too, playing Dr. Jillian Taylor. Like she
Yeah.
she fits right in, and she's funny. Like you dipshits, and like she's just slapping people and ordering pizza and I don't know. The one thing I have a problem with is she's like the head of, she's the head what cytologist of
Cetacean biology, the Cetacean Institute
so she's
is
like
the
like she's just big and
it's all right. You can trust her. She's a whale biologist.
and but she's doing tours. That's the one thing. When you're like big institute of only whales, would you take your like number one doctor away to go
But
do tours?
the thing is, it's like with other things in Star Trek. They're the only ship in the region. She's the only whale biologist in the building, so she has to.
That's a great point. Yeah, there's only one of something in this. And her expository dialogue about how the whales are dying and it's man who does it. And it's such a smart way to deliver the message of the film because it's on a tour. And of course, a tour guide would say that. It's such
And I remember that being a huge concern in the 80s, 90s. I remember there being lots of talk about whaling and how it was unsustainable and how there was a potential for these species to go extinct. So I remember this message resonating with me quite hard when I first saw it.
I think it did with a lot of people. Like I still remember the whales. Like people have the joke about it, like the one with the whales. That's the one that people
Yeah.
call this movie. But yeah, the way that she dumps that dialogue during the tour is just brilliant. And he's like, "That's not rational." And she's like, "Who said humans were rational?" And she's just I don't know. Like, she's kind of a just a live wire. And like, there's a movie called Everybody Wants Some that I love, and Zoe Deutsch is introduced halfway in, and you like her. She just doesn't feel like she's taken away from any of the characters. And I think like Hicks jumping into the fourth film with an established franchise, she's not just a love interest. She's not just like a stock character that's just thrown in there. Like she pops on this. Like I really enjoyed her in this movie. In her truck.
I'm I'm glad that they didn't end up getting Eddie in, which was one of the things they were originally doing. There was a role for Eddie Murphy as
Yeah.
an astrophysicist who saw the Klingon ship coming in or some nonsense.
Oh man. Yeah,
Which I don't know if Eddie would have worked in that movie. It tonally just too different from. I don't know
yeah.
if he could have played it straight enough.
But hey, he still gave it props in Boomerang, and he still loves the franchise. I kind of love
Yeah,
that they had the idea, then everyone went, "Yeah, no, that wasn't good." But he was so hot during
he
those
was.
years. You got to consider it. It's like if you and I are Star Trek producers, and Eddie Murphy is in 1980s. Eddie Murphy is like, "Hey, I want to be in Star Trek." You and I, we're gonna try to figure it out.
Oh yeah. Well, that's how Whoopi ended up in Next Generation.
Yeah. I love it. And like, you know what, but also I love when Hicks comes up and she's like, Robin Hood and Friar Tuck. Like she just calls him just the silliest little comments. Like I don't know. I really like the way that they wrote her. I don't know. It just made me
And the thing that works there as well is Star Trek is notorious for not including pop culture references. In all the shows, they all listen to classical music because they don't have to deal with the rights issues. So having characters like Robin Hood and Friar Tuck, they're out of the public domain, but everybody knows who they are. So the joke still works today rather than someone who may have been popular in the 80s.
Marsha Brady or yeah, whatever
I,
it would have
I
been.
know
Yeah.
who
The
Marsha
Partridge.
Brady is,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Like
it's one of those things that allows it to almost stay relevant because you as the audience, even now in 2024, you can picture Robin Hood and Friar Tuck, and you can see, okay, Spock with his headband could be kind of like the friar with the bald head.
just when he ripped that off and put it around his ears. And I love when he's sitting in the truck and he goes, "Gracie's pregnant," and just the reaction to it. He's perfect in the movie. It, I think I think you can just feel sometimes in movies when the people want to be there. I think there are other
For
times when
sure.
you watch movies and like a lot of Netflix movies, you're like they don't really want to be here. Like they're acting, they're giving it all. Like they don't love what they're doing. And I think everyone here kind of loved what they were doing. Like there's that scene where what like Scotty and the doctor walk in and he's like, "I came millions of miles, thousands of miles." He's like, can my assistant come?" And he's just hello computer and talking to it and like just I can get it down to two. I don't know. You can just tell that they're all thriving about like they're all so happy to have these lines. And like there's some crazy line, "Admiral, there be whales here." Like it's such a
Well,
cheeky
Doohan said
movie.
that was his favorite line of all Star Trek that he got to say was the Admiral, there be whales here,
So
which
silly.
is funny.
It,
Um,
oh,
and then what's interesting about this movie is we mentioned it on Wrath of Khan as well, the Captain Ahab, Moby Dick revenge theme. This one, you don't really have the theme, but you do have whales. So we can say that even numbered Star Trek films either involve Moby Dick or have whales.
does the sixth one have a whale?
No, but it does have a revenge plot.
There it is. There it is. Because three doesn't have a revenge plot. It's just a
Does
guy who
not.
wants the Genesis planet. And then V'ger's
Yes.
just hanging out.
Beach just hanging out.
The further we get away from Star Trek the motion picture, I enjoyed the experience, but the more it's I guess the way everyone feels about it who has watched it for the last 30,
Yeah,
40 years.
when you kind of move through the series, as I said at the time, it's probably the weakest. Potentially five is up there. That is a pretty poor entry, but it's missing so much of what makes the other ones so enjoyable, which is the banter between all the characters and actual good usage of all the characters and more self-contained plots that actually drive themselves rather than slow motion panning shots of stuff.
Like 40 minutes of ships. And they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to make a Star Trek movie. They wanted to make a 2001 movie. It kind of reminds me of the early like X-Men movie. That they didn't even want to put them in their suits. So it's just very much so a muted superhero film. And I think that's why people respond to Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is because of it so
Well, yeah, you get
embraces
to you
comic
get to
books and he
see
loves it.
all the weird and wonderful suits
Yeah.
that are involved in that movie and all the little cameos. It's fantastic.
But you can feel the love coming off the screen. And like you can feel like this is a Star Trek movie. And what's nice about this Star Trek movie, it's not like we're gonna go to Earth to be cool. It just works narratively. I mean, Roddenberry wanted to make one about JFK's murder. So like they've been talking
Yeah,
about this for a
I
while.
don't think that would work. Well, they had an episode of the original series where they saved a woman's life, and it turned out that that made Hitler win. So they had to let her die,
Whoa.
which was kind of crazy.
Butterfly
It was
effect.
that the City on the Edge of Forever, I think it was called.
Yeah, I've never watched the original series. I watched Galaxy Quest. Does that count? Or is that more next gen?
Galaxy Quest is almost like a love letter to the original movie. I think it's almost like a love letter to these movies with some bits from the original series thrown in,
Got it.
like the ridiculous planets that all look like they're made of fiberglass and the same three rocks on every planet.
Hey, so like what are your favorite moments from this movie that we haven't talked about yet? Do you have a few that you just that put a big smile on your face when you think about
Um,
them?
I I've already mentioned the computer thing, but the bit after that, where McCoy says to Scott is like, "You're changing the future," and Scott is just like, "How do I know he didn't invent the thing?"
Yeah, yeah. And the glasses, like, how do you know this will cause something? He gives you this gift. He'll give it to me again in the future. Like it's
Um, Kirk has just a brazen disregard for any. This is not a serious time travel movie.
uh-uh.
It does not sit you down and tell you the rules of how time travel works and what the time travel is or anything like that. It just says, "Oh, what we do? Actually, we'll go back in time. We'll sort it out. It'll be grand." There's no, "Oh, remember, we can't touch a blade of grass here, otherwise we'll change the future." It's all right, we're going to go nick some stuff from a an aircraft carrier, get captured, leave our phasers and our communicators there, and tell them a bunch of stuff. We're going to cure some random woman with a kidney pill, kidnap a whale biologist, and give some Finnish whalers a nasty shock by materializing in midair over them, having traveled north to the Bering Sea at Mach 18, which I'm sure nobody heard.
and wreck some grass in a park.
Yes.
An event aluminum kind of polymer.
Transparent aluminum,
Transparent aluminum.
which actually does exist.
Yeah, it did come out. And I like around
Yeah, it's
2009 when Star Trek came out.
yeah, it's well, basically it's an oxide of aluminum, similar to sapphire. Sapphire is already transparent aluminum.
Ooh.
It's an aluminum oxide, but the one they made was it called aluminum oxynitrate or something like that, is which you can use as the glass on your phone, for example, which is almost identical to the stuff that was in Star Trek.
Oh
Apparently,
wow.
they do use it on phone cameras
That's amazing.
as the cover. I was reading up on it before this because I wanted to see what it had actually been used for, and I thought that was cool.
Oh, I love it. I think some of the moments I love is like this is a primitive and paranoid culture. Like that made me really happy. I love the exact change bit. I love the one with the Pacific Bell Yellow Pages. Like, how do we even find that? It's just so so
And I like
silly.
the scene on the bus
Yeah.
with the punk rocker, which that guy has got quite the resume if you look at who it actually is. Kirk Thatcher.
The producer,
He's
our associate producer.
producer, writer on The Muppet Show. He's credited on Jedi. He's been credited on. He wrote The Muppet Treasure Island, I believe.
Ah,
Um, he made an appearance as a punk rocker in Spider-Man: Homecoming, so we could almost have a connection that this and Star Trek 4 exist in the same universe. You know, it could almost be the same character.
he just gets knocked out on the bus, and everyone cheers. It's I'm telling. This is a funny movie. It's not
It is.
a lot of
And
jokes hit.
that moment came about from Nimoy being on a bus in New York and being really annoyed by someone doing something similar to that, playing loud music on a boombox. And he said he thought to himself, like, if I was Spock, I would totally neck pinch that guy. So it was based on real life experience, and he was able to just bring it into the movie, which I thought was great.
He just knocked the guy out, and I just remember those as a kid. I remember those very specific moments. It's gonna be interesting to see how George and Gracie repopulate. They'll probably just clone them.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Well, they already have a baby, but yeah, I would think they would have to do some kind of cloning effort in order to repopulate the species.
Now, are there
And they
no
probably know enough about genetic manipulation by this point to be able to introduce some diversity as well.
are there not any killer whales?
There must be.
Because they would kill them, and there's not a pod to protect all of them. Like, because they swim in
Orcas
numbers to take.
orcas wouldn't go against a humpback though. Humpbacks are like twice the size.
Oh yeah, but like they attack sperm whales and other whales. Orcas do. That'd be kind of brutal. They pop up and just get demolished. I just read a
10,
movie
10
called
minutes
Whale.
after 10 minutes after the end of the movie, there's just a pod of orcas sat outside San Francisco Bay, and they're like, okay, glad you guys showed up. Thanks for getting rid of that pod thing. Now your dinner. And that's actually why Jillian is going to space, because the orcas actually ate the humpbacks, and she's like, well, my work here is done.
Sorry, George and Gracie. Sorry about that. Yeah, this I just read a book called Whale Fall about a guy who goes to find the remains of his dad, but he ends up getting swallowed by a sperm whale. And he has to get his
Interesting.
way out of the sperm whale. So he's going in and out of the stomachs and like thinking of ways to survive while his scuba tank, you learn the PSI every chapter and it flashes back and it's about this guy surviving inside a whale's stomach.
Interesting.
It's good. It's short. It's called Whale Fall. No one gets eaten
Yeah, I
here
might
though.
give that a go.
Yeah, no, it's really quick and it's a lot of fun. Someone said it's very scientific, but I don't know about that. I just know I liked it. I enjoyed it. Well, like the whale didn't swallow the guy. A whale went to go eat a large squid, but then the squid grabbed onto the guy as the squid was
And
being
he got
eaten, and the
pulled
guy,
in.
yeah, because like a sperm whale wouldn't just eat a human.
One would
Uh,
hope.
yeah, it was. I'm not gonna find out, but that's for certain. But it's what's interesting too is this is a movie where there's really not a lot of themes. There's not a lot of
It's a
development.
caper.
Yeah, it's legitimately a episode of Star Trek. And
Yeah, it's a caper. And Nimoy said with 2 and 3, they'd earned the right to have a little fun and do a caper.
everyone responded to it. And what's interesting? You and I have talked a lot about not having finished scripts. They had a script. You and I have talked about how they had no budget, and so they had to get creative. They had a pretty good budget on this one. Everyone was happy. They
Yeah.
made it.
Well, not everyone was happy. the two original writers
Oh,
who
okay,
got
yeah,
heavily rewrote, they are not too happy.
yeah. I would say those two are not. But I mean, I have a question now. You write a script, and it's fine, it's good, it sells, and then this movie comes out. Your name is credited, but it's just a gigantic smash, and it's good. Most importantly, it's good. Are you going to be angry?
Um,
You got credit. You are
it
in the
depends on
credits.
how possessive. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes people can get very possessive of their work.
Man,
I I find I work with some people like that sometimes who, you suggest changing some of their code and they get super possessive over it, even though the end result is that it's better and we can objectively show that it's better and it's testing better, it's working better. But people get really possessive over their work, and having someone come in and change it is almost offensive.
maybe I just
But
worked
these
in the
guys, they only wrote 4 movies. One of them was Anna and the King, which had
remake.
Jodie Foster in it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
remake. One was Van Damme. Was it Double Impact they did? And then there were a couple of others there was one other that I hadn't heard of. But yeah, it seems like they weren't that good writers. I think they probably did okay, but based on their non-extensive filmography, I guess it wasn't for them.
Fair enough. But I mean, I guess as a writer, I don't mind having a good editor make like I'm happy with my work, but if they can fine tune it a little bit. So, you know, you know what I think? Like, so sometimes I write for Rotten Tomatoes, Film Theory, all different channels. It has to be in their voice. So an editor won't rewrite your thing, but they'll just kind of tweak it a little bit to be more in the voice of the website, which is fine.
Which is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And this was rewritten to be in the voice of the characters. And I guess as a writer, for me, especially, I write scripts. And so if they get changed a little bit, at least I hate when it gets wholesale changed. If something gets changed, I like knowing that I provided a lot for that the people loved, and then it grew from there. So it wasn't like, Mark, this script sucks, I'm going to rewrite it. I like when it's like, oh, this idea was incredible and I built on it because I got inspired. It's like, that's when I like it. So I mean, if you come up with this idea, I don't know. It's fine. It's good. I love this movie. This movie got nominated for an Oscar for best cinematography. It's great. Any other thing? I know you have a lot of notes. Do you have any other thoughts about this movie?
One of the other things that I thought it did quite well was the colorful metaphors, which we've already kind of touched on a little bit. But Spock being terrible at swearing was not something you would think would be funny, but it just works. Nimoy's delivery is excellent.
The hell I am. Like just it's hilarious.
But there's
Uh,
one moment at the end where he actually gets it right,
yeah.
which kind of mirrors the little bit of growth that Spock shows from the start of the movie, where he's being told by his mother that, okay, you are actually half human, you can embrace that a little bit, and then by the end he's telling his father to tell his mom that he's fine.
And his dad gives him props too. Like, hey, I said I
Yeah.
wouldn't do this. So Spock does it. Remember, he's like, give your best guess. Guess. Yeah. He's like, no, that's not an insult. He trusts you. Your best guess is better than most people. And you're right. Spock does have some growth in this movie, but it's handled, I don't know, it's not world changing. It's just a nice little new wrinkle to the
No.
character.
And it basically brings him back to where he was when he died at Wrath of Khan. It's We've hit the reset button, and then
Yeah.
he's had to kind of relearn to be himself again, and now he's re-embraced both sides of his personality, so that he's a fully formed Spock again.
How would you do on that test that he had to take?
Not well. Some of the questions maybe, but I think most of them would be quite difficult.
You wouldn't go to Vulcan, the Vulcan equivalent of like Oxford or
Uh,
Harvard?
no thanks. I I bet the after parties would be much fun.
Oh yeah. Like the social network. Oh man.
Yeah,
But
it would
yeah.
be very dry.
But no, it's yeah, he does have some growth in here. And I like when he's swimming next to that whale That's such a great moment. I love it. It
Yeah,
makes me happy.
I think it was I don't think I'd ever seen a cross species mind meld before, but I guess if he's doing it with a human, that's cross species, but I guess we'd never seen it with a so-called non-humanoid species, I guess.
I mean, it is a mammal,
It's a
so
mammal,
yeah.
and they are intelligent.
The hell they did. Sorry. Oh yeah.
The hell they are.
Oh wait, doesn't Spock say one damn minute, Admiral? Like, isn't that when he does a good
Yeah.
job? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a caper. There's some movies where you can pull themes and everything, but this one's just a happy good time.
And it's pretty much, apart from the start, it starts a little bit slow where they're just setting the scene. But once they hit the initial conflict where it's like, right, there's a probe, it's pretty much non-stop after that. It's like bang, plot point, bang, plot point, bang, plot point, bang, plot point, and then lots of little set pieces and funny interludes as part of those plot points. But there's very little filler.
Mm-mm. Like, Chekhov falling and almost dying, and then them going to the hospital. It never feels like extra movie because this is still quite a long
No.
film because it's funny, like just the way that they're dressed up. And remember, like Shatner just pushes that guy out of the way, and then the doctor, she just jumps right on top of the hospital bed. It's just, and then the McCoy's giving people pills, and yeah, it doesn't feel
And
like
then
it's kind of a
Shatner's
hangout
threatening
movie.
them with threatening the doctors with a phaser. And the guy says to him, "What is that, like a ray gun?" Because obviously they would never have seen a weapon like that. But everyone, and the same with the US military guys, what are you gonna do with that ray gun? Or is like, hey, is your ray gun broken?
Oh, I love it. Oh, is there something wrong with the one I
So
have?
even
No.
though they weren't obvious, they were immediately recognized as ray guns, even if they didn't really look gun like.
And they just disappear in the
Because
elevator.
the traditional Star Trek phasers, the ones with the handles, they look fairly gun like. The ones they would have had in Wrath of Khan or in some of the other movies, it's fairly obviously gun shaped.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas these ones they had were these little remote control thingies that they did not look very weapon like. They just looked like a little box.
That don't work. Well, Scott. Wait.
It was a
Chekhov's doesn't.
stretch.
Yeah. Oh man.
The radiation.
Yeah, that's what it was. I know
But
this
yeah,
isn't good
it's
This isn't good for podcasting, Niall, but this movie just makes me happy. It's like it's kind of
yeah,
like a comedy
it's
where you just want to name all the funny parts.
yeah, it's for a movie that has been nominated for 4 Academy Awards, there's not that much to actually talk about other than the cinematography is excellent, which we've gone into. The visual effects, which was nominated for several. We've talked about the animatronic whales, which were phenomenal.
Yeah, like 4 foot and just like
The
look
score,
beautiful.
there's
Oscar
nothing
nominated.
really. It was Oscar nominated, but there's nothing really stand out about it. It just works and fits the film. It's a good score, but there's no. I can't think of any standout piece of the score right now. It just works. And then I think it was one for sound editing or something like that, which I don't really know enough about to be able to comment on whether the sound was edited well. I guess it was,
Hey, great whale
mostly
noises.
because the whale probe was apparently Leonard Nimoy going whoop
Whoa,
whoop
whoa,
whoop
whoa,
whoop
whoa,
whoop
whoa,
whoop
whoa,
whoop whoop
whoa.
whoop whoop.
Imagine being a special effects sound guy and you make all these designs. He doesn't like any of them. He's like, well, this is what I want. Whoa, 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 whoa. They just start off like that from the beginning, right? What
I
sound
could
do you want?
sense the exasperation in the sound tech just being like, fine, we'll just use that. I don't care. Press record.
Yeah. Click. All right, give me the noise. I mean, if you've already tried 14 of them,
Well, yeah.
it's down. But you know what's interesting? They were talking about how with Star Trek, they were sending prints out way like at the last minute, last second. Like these movies, just were going out at the last second for all the releases, and then this one didn't have that. But I think it had built enough kind of well-being, I guess, like enough cash to to have the luxury to do this. It's kind of nice too. And you know
And
what's a you know
as you
normally when
said,
you
it
have
did well.
normally when you have a movie like this, there's no pressure. Like there was pressure. It's not a great giant budget film, but I think it's pretty interesting that they didn't have a tiny budget. They didn't have a huge rush production. They had a script. From what I heard, aside from the writers, it was pretty chill. But then the end product is still really fun. So I like that, even though the movie wasn't, every set is stressful. I'm not saying this one wasn't stressful, but compared to the other three, this one was not a breeze, but they had money and they had sets and they had a script. And I'm still surprised that it came out so well, because I feel like sometimes great art comes out of like great struggle. And this one seems like everyone was pretty chill. Like, I guess they already know what they're doing though. And Harv Bennett has been around for a while. They had the same main producer. They
And
brought back
Nicholas
Nicholas Meyer.
Meyer.
Leonard Nimoy directed it. So I guess all the elements make it work. But then I guess we're
Yeah,
getting five,
it's
and I hear that's terrible.
well, yeah, that all you can reserve judgment until you've watched it.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
Um,
And actually
it,
might help
but
me. All the bad stuff that people say about it, I might watch it and be like, it's not as bad as everyone says.
I think that every time I try and watch it, and then I watch it, and it disappoints me yet again.
It's not long, is it?
No more than this one. I think
Okay.
it's about on the 2 hour mark.
Oh no. Oh, hour 47. Oh no. Oh, 23%.
Yeah.
5.5. That's not a lot. I had a pretty big
Yeah,
budget.
it is not good.
Well, hey
But we
man.
have that to look forward to.
Yeah, no, but I love it. I love this franchise. We have some good ones coming up. Like we're going through all of them, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. I like that. I don't want to skip any of them. This is fun. I really enjoy this series. It's kind of it's
Well,
filling
as
a
I said in some
huge.
of the previous ones, it's interesting getting the perspective of someone who's not a huge Star Trek nerd on these things.
I kind of feel like it's filling in a huge blind spot I had towards Star Trek, and now I get to just watch them all and have fun with it. Like it's great. I love it. I love it's easy to talk about franchises in a row too, because you can just build on each episode and you have the
Yeah, for
back
sure.
catalog to talk about. So I dig it. Well, hey, so where can people find you, Niall?
I'm on Twitter as El Nilo and other things too, I guess. I'm not really using much social media these days, but
You're just too busy, man. You're just
I
traveling the world.
exist.
You're out there, or just listen to all our old
Well, I
episodes. We have a
try.
lot of them. Any ones that you want to
Yeah,
recommend? Do we have any good
we
episodes you
must
want to
have done
recommend?
20 or 30.
Yeah, you've been around for a while.
I think Last Action Hero should always be revisited, and so should the movie.
Yeah, that movie rocks. I love it. I'm not going to say rips. I just want you to know that.
Mm.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, man.
Yeah,
All right.
it's been
So,
fun.
all right. So, from me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for now, more. It's the Movie Sounds of Flicks. We'll see you next week.